To escalate it here at home, tensions are still rising in Murrieta over the immigration debate, with more protests and arrests over the 4th of July holiday.
Joining us to discuss both issues is Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff, representing Burbank and the 28th District. He's a senior member of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, good morning. Thanks for coming in. We want to start with Iraq this morning because of a video that was posted online with a man purported to be Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the leader of ISIS, leading prayers in a mosque on Friday. And in the video, he calls for people to help him create a caliphate, which is an Islamic state, and wage a holy war. The video is the first Baghdadi has made. He's also a recluse. So what do you think the significance is in this video?
Well, I think it's significant that he felt the need to get out there publicly, try to enhance his stature, because it's risky for him. We only had, I think, some sketchy images of what he looked like. Now it'll be easier to identify him, it'll be easier to track him, it'll be easier to kill him. But they must have felt that it was worth the risk. He is competing for these foreign jihadis with al-Nusra, another al-Qaeda franchise in Syria. So I think he's trying to recruit foreign support. He's trying to show himself as a statesman, having established, in his view, this caliphate, this new Islamic state. So I think it is significant. I think it's also him. I can't imagine the merit of creating a fake video like this. But it will be a downside for him also, because it'll help us more accurately pinpoint who he is and where he is, and take him off the battlefield. You know, for veterans of the Iraq War, U.S. veterans looking in on this and the capture of Mosul and this idea that a caliphate might be created, or at least that's the goal, it has to be debilitating for many of our veterans who put in so much time. As a nation, we put in so much money. Is there a chance that Baghdad falls to this group at some point? I think that's very unlikely. You saw the Iraqi armed forces melt away when they were in the north, when they were confronting not only ISIS, which is relatively small in number, but also these Sunni communities that hated them, hated their presence there, and hate Maliki. Baghdad is very heavily Shia. The militias are going to mobilize and are mobilizing. The Iraqi armed forces are going to defend that ground because there's nowhere to run to from Baghdad. So I don't think ISIS is going to be successful in laying siege to Baghdad, but it still will be very hard for this government in particular to regain the territory it lost in Mosul, Tikrit, and elsewhere.
And there is some talk that lawmakers are saying there's a mission creep, meaning they're going to continue to possibly put U.S. forces deeper into the conflict, even though President Obama said, you know, no more troops on the ground. Do you think that is a possibility as time goes on?
I think that's always a risk, and it's one we're going to have to carefully monitor. We have seen increasing numbers of troops there to protect our personnel that are at the embassy, to gain intelligence. The president hasn't ruled out using force either from aircraft or elsewhere. So it's definitely a risk. And, you know, if you fly a sortie with something other than a drone, you have to make provision if a pilot were shot down to be able to rescue them, and that can pull you in. And I think certainly with this government, with Maliki in the lead, there's no reason for the United States to be drawn in, because with him there, there's no way to peel those Sunni communities away from ISIS, away from this Islamic state. He's really got to go, and I think that ought to be the price of our getting involved. And even then, we need to make sure that we don't enter another combat role in Iraq.
Let's turn to what's happening in Murrieta. Symbolic of what, however you feel about the immigration, people coming into this country illegally, 11 million people have done that. We have a problem in this country. We're not dealing with it properly. We don't have the reform that people on both sides seem to suggest we need. The president is now saying he's going to use executive orders to deal with that. Is that the right way to do this?
Well, I think the House GP has left him no choice. We have a very bipartisan comprehensive bill, Frank, as you know, that passed a year ago in the Senate. The Speaker recently confirmed that he will not take it up, and he's not going to take up anything else either. So he is content to sit on the sidelines and carpet the president, but he's not willing to take it up. And the reason he won't is that it divides the Republican base. But listen, this is necessary for the country, and part of what's driving these young people to come here, and this is a humanitarian crisis of the first order, is the uncertainty about what our immigration laws are. So we in Congress can do something about it, but if we don't, then I applaud the president for doing what he can. It's still not going to be a substitute for Congress acting, because it won't transcend administrations, and he can't go as far as we ought to go in terms of fixing a broken system. But that broken system is part of the reason why kids are flocking here and this crisis is going on.
All right, Congressman Schiff, we appreciate you coming in this morning.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.